Hello, boys and girls. Welcome to another writing lesson with Mrs. Burke. Today, we're working our way through the editing process and we're discussing transitions, those words or phrases that we can add to our writing to show the passage of time or to compare and contrast things. If you're ready, let's get started. You might be thinking, how can transition words help me link different parts of my writing? Well, as I said in my introduction, transition words are little words or phrases that can help you show the passage of time, or you can show how two things are alike or different. And those transition words can be used in between the beginning and middle of your writing or the middle and the end of your writing to really link those thoughts and ideas. Let's take a look at some examples of transition words, and then I'll show you how I can add transition words to my writing, and you'll have a chance to try that as well. Let's look at some transition words that show time. Oftentimes, we hear some of these transition words when we're sequencing the events of a story or when we're sequencing events in general. Before, recently, following, after, first, then, next, finally. Take another look at these words. These words should be pretty common to you because we use these words a lot when we are retelling or summarizing or sequencing events. Before, recently, following, after, first, then, next, finally. And again, these words can help us show time and the passage of time in our writing. We also have some transition words that can compare and contrast. They can show how a few things are alike or how they are different. And when we compare, we show how those things are alike. When we contrast, we show how those things are different. Let's first take a look at some words that compare. Likewise, similarly, as well as. Likewise, similarly, as well as. Let's take a look at some of those words that contrast, that show how things are different. However, rather, even though. However, rather, even though. Now, let's take a look at my writing. Keep in mind, this piece of writing that we're going to look at is in draft form. So this isn't a perfect piece of work yet, but it's something that I'm working on and I'm pretty proud of. And I'm going to fix it up a little bit today by showing some transitions in my writing. I'm going to link the different parts of my writing today. This is written about an experience I had a few weeks ago when I went to Pennsylvania. Here goes. I couldn't believe it when my friend told me we were going to hike across a field of boulders. I took one look at the boulders and said, "There's no way I'm doing that." I thought about it for a minute while I watched my kids run out into the boulder field. I asked myself if I really could do it. I decided I was ready to go. Gently, I took a few steps. It wasn't so bad. I realized it might be fun. I took another step. I stepped on a boulder that wobbled. I thought I was going to fall. I was scared, but I kept going. I realized that I was in the middle of the boulder field. It was time to take a break. I didn't make it across the entire field, but I was really proud of my progress. I had overcome my fear and I had fun in the boulder field. So let's take a look at the beginning of my writing. In the beginning, which I boxed in blue and labeled with a B, you meet me and you find out where I am and what I'm doing. In the middle of my writing, which I boxed in green and labeled with an M, you see the problem that I face in my adventure. And at the end of my story, which I boxed in purple and I labeled with an E, you find out how my adventure ends. Now, I think I can add some transitions in my writing to kind of make it sound a little smoother and to help it flow a little bit better. Now, in between the beginning and the middle, I see that I was feeling a little nervous, but I decided to go. And then here, gently, I took a few steps. I think I could fix this sentence up here with a good transition. So gently, I took a few steps. It wasn't so bad. I realized it might be fun. Let's see what I can do by adding a transition word or transition phrase there. Here we go. Ooh. Even though I was nervous, I took a few steps. Wow, I really did two awesome things there. I added a transition, which tells you that I was feeling nervous, but I bravely took a few steps. So I said, even though I was nervous, I took a few steps. I also added a little more of showing how I was feeling rather than just telling, right? Even though I was nervous, I took a few steps. It wasn't so bad. I realized it might be fun. I like that transition. Now let's look at the end. In between me realizing that I was in the middle of the boulder fields and the end of my story, I say that it was time to take a break. And I didn't make it across the entire field, but I was really proud of my progress. So really here, I'm bringing it to an end. So I think I might want to add a transition in there that shows time or the passage of time. So let's try this one. Let's try, oh, here we go. Finally, it was time to take a break. I didn't make it across the entire field, but I was really proud of my progress. I think I fixed this up pretty nicely. I have a transition word that shows a comparison, and I used contrasting words about my feelings. And then I have a transition word that shows the passage of time. It shows that I'm at the end of my adventure because I said finally. I think I did a pretty nice job adding transitions to my writing. Boys and girls, you're going to have a chance to try this in your own work as well. I want you to take a look at some of the writing that you've done already. Go back and reread a piece that you've already done, a nice small moment story where you stay in that small moment, and think, can I add a transition word here? Can I add multiple transition words here to make my writing better? If you're able to add some transition words to your writing, then you'll have an opportunity to share that with me using your microphone or the video. All right, boys and girls, as always, do your best work. I'll see you again soon. Bye.